Welcome to our Bible study on the sixth thing that Jesus said while on the cross. The sixth thing that Jesus said while on the cross is, "It is finished." This is found in the book of John chapter 19 verse 29 to 30. The cross marked the end of the law. The law did not fulfill things. It brought nothing to end in order to realize effective salvation. The cross brought effective salvation. The idea we mean is that the law did not fulfill, making Israel and mankind heirs, firstborns, thus not protecting birthright. How would birthright be genuine minus truth? So it was appropriate that the lacking truth be filled. The word was missing. This gospel teaches in the book of John chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was manifested from heaven so that it can glorify itself the more. How? By means of the very Word, the very God, the very Spirit becoming flesh or human being. God went onto the cross in this human being. However, the interesting thing in this being is the spiritual truth, not worldly truth. The gospel adds to say in the book of John chapter 1 verse 14, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, full of glory and truth. We have beheld his glory as of the only Son from the Father." So the conclusion is that God appeared from heaven with a ministry of truth. God is inspired with his ministry to work hard for mankind even on the cross. His mission is to make his word or truth known. For it was a secret concealed with him for long, that the Word was with God. It is that he be the glory of hope in all saints. This letter says in the book of Colossians chapter 1 verse 27, "To them God chose to make known how great among the Gentiles are the riches of his glory, the riches of this mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory." So it was appropriate for things to be brought to designed end, to pave way for designed beginning, the new covenant. A new beginning just at the end of an ongoing but ending activity. What God does is his desire to complete things. To God, things begin and end in righteousness. Jesus began in righteousness. He was baptized as a show of the way of God to fulfill all righteousness. It was time to focus on spiritual things, not fleshly things. The point we mean is that hostility due to sin was over and gone. It was finished. Now it is the period of pleasing God in holiness according to the gospel. For this letter teaches in the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 3 to 8. For God has done what the law, weakened by the flesh, could not do, sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin. He condemned sin in the flesh, in order that the just requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us. who walk not according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. For those who live according to the flesh set their mind on things of the flesh. But those who live according to the Spirit set their minds on things of the Spirit. To set the mind on the flesh is death, but to set the mind on the Spirit is life and peace. For the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit itself to God's law. Indeed, it cannot. And those who are in flesh cannot please God. The bowl of vinegar beside the cross, the very vinegar which the people gave Jesus, was a sign of their hostility, their love for things of flesh, their sin. It was inappropriate. Sin was ended. He was on his way to resurrecting to new life. Hence, Jesus cried that it is finished. Study it in the book of John, chapter 19, verse 29 and 30. A bowl of vinegar full of vinegar stood there. So they put a sponge of full vinegar on hyssop and held it on his mouth. When Jesus had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." And he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. It was finished. His next place was the grave, so that sin be brought to complete end. Thus a sinful body done away with.